To kick off our episode, let's spotlight some extraordinary feats of heroism among U.S. soldiers. For instance, Army Said. Mary Ehiarinmwian was off duty when she rescued a fellow soldier from a burning car. Dr. Porter, what drives individuals like Sergeant Ehiarinmwian to risk their own lives in these intense moments?
It's fascinating. Psychologists suggest that military training builds strong instincts for self-sacrifice and quick decision-making. In SGT, Ehiarinmwian's case, her response was shaped by both training and a deep sense of camaraderie. This mirrors historical acts, like Audie Murphy's famous stand in WWI, where he single-handedly repelled an entire German company.
Murphy's story is legendary, received the Medal of Honor for his actions. But I wonder, are such feats unique to the battlefield, or do they extend to peacetime situations, like Sergeant Ehiarinmwian's?
Great question. Heroism often transcends the battlefield. Many soldiers display bravery in everyday emergencies, leveraging their training to help civilians. In fact, a 2019 RAND study found that 64% of surveyed veterans reported intervening in civilian crises at least once since leaving active duty.
Those statistics really highlight how military values can ripple through communities. As we transition, let's consider what happens after these heroic acts. Show are veterans recognized for their service and sacrifices? Recognition can come decades after service. Take Dan Crowley, a WWE veteran and former POW, who waited over 80 years to receive his Combat Infantry Badge and Prisoner of War Medal. Why does recognition matter so much for veterans, especially so late in life?
Recognition plays a vital role in validating a veteran's sacrifices and suffering. For Crowley, finally receiving those medals wasn't just symbolic, it offered closure and public acknowledgement. Studies show that formal honors can reduce feelings of isolation and improve mental health, particularly among elderly veterans.
That's a powerful point. But recognition can also be complex. For example, Desmond Doss was initially ostracized for his beliefs as a conscientious objector, yet he later became a national hero for saving 75 wounded soldiers in Okinawa. How do public perceptions shift over time?
Public opinion often evolves with new information. Doss's story, dramatized in Hacksaw Ridge, illustrates how acts of unarmed bravery can challenge stereotypes about soldiers. Over time, society tends to celebrate not just those who fight, but also those who uphold principles of compassion and nonviolence.
Absolutely. And as we reflect on these positive legacies, it's important to acknowledge that not all stories are uplifting. Some highlight deeper struggles faced by service members after their return. While many veterans are celebrated, countless others grapple with invisible wounds. The suicide rate for veterans is alarmingly high, nearly 17 per day, according to VA reports. Dr. Porter, what factors contribute to mental health struggles among former soldiers?
Multiple elements are at play: combat trauma, survivor's guilt, and difficulties adjusting to civilian norms all contribute. The transition can be jarring. For example, about 30% of veterans report symptoms of PTSD, and unemployment rates among younger veterans historically outpace civilian peers.
That's significant. Homelessness also remains a pressing issue, with nearly 40 veterans experiencing homelessness on a single night in 2022. Can you explain why support systems sometimes fall short, despite government efforts?
Certainly. Bureaucratic hurdles, underfunded programs, and social stigma often impede access to care. Even with initiatives like the GI Bill and VA hospitals, navigating these systems can be overwhelming. Hypothetically, if resources were more streamlined, outcomes could improve dramatically.
Given these challenges, it's clear that society must do more than honor veterans. We must also ensure robust support. However, not every account of military service is a story of valor or hardship. Some involve controversy, which brings us to our next segment. Some of the most difficult conversations about military service involve allegations of misconduct. U.S. soldiers have faced accusations of war crimes, particularly in Iraq and Afghanistan. How do these incidents impact public trust in the military, Dr. Porter?
Such cases can erode confidence significantly. When soldiers are implicated in war crimes, it sparks intense debate about accountability and ethics. A Pew Research Center poll found that 38% of Americans reported declining trust in the military following high-profile incidents between 2000 and 2014.
That's striking. In terms of legal and institutional response, how are these allegations typically addressed? Are there safeguards to ensure justice is served?
There are military courts and investigative bodies, such as the Uniform Code of Military Justice, designed to handle these cases. However, critics argue that internal investigations may lack transparency. Some advocate for increased civilian oversight to bolster impartiality.
Balancing national security with accountability is clearly complex. As we wrap up, it's important to recognize that the experiences of U.S. soldiers are profoundly diverse, ranging from inspiring heroism to significant personal and institutional challenges.